Right. Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so this is going to be a single storyline. We are going to go ahead and assume that our character is single, but we're still going to ask for any retrograde message. So anything that, maybe over passage of time is something to contemplate, see things through a different lens, maybe a wiser, older lens. So what might be coming back around? We have a King of Cups energy. So we could have somebody dealing with some emotions, some things that they didn't know they still felt. This could be a divine masculine who is going to be kind of like feeling some feels in their heart. Six of Swords. This could be somebody who's like remembering a feminine that actually moved on, that he could be lost in a little bit of nostalgia. Remembering, like, because I'm hearing Post Malone, you probably think that you are better now. Better now, you probably say that because I'm not around. There's definitely, like, he's seems to be reflecting on somebody got happier, seemingly happier, when I'll say she moved on. Why is he reflecting on that? Why is he reflecting? I mean, he's still upright, so it's not like, oh my god, I'm devastated. Ace of Pentacles. It may not be that she moved on from him. It may just be that he is reflecting on, I think, a divine feminine, maybe somebody who looks great in red, but who's made changes in her life, and he's just noticing. I mean, I do think that he still loves her. I don't know. Are you looking at an ex and you're saying, God, she looks so good. She looks so happy. She looks so much happier. We have Four of Wands. I'm thinking now of that song, You Look So Good in Love. You want him, it's easy to see. You look so good in love. How I wish you still wanted me. I think it's Tracy Lawrence, country song. It's a great like waltz tempo to it. This looks like he's either contemplating or wondering. I mean, has she moved on and she's really happy with someone else? He doesn't really know, but he assumes that, God, she looks good. She looks so happy. She looks even more attractive than back when I knew her. Hang on. Were you with her? Were you with her at one point in time? Knight of Wands, I tried to be. Okay, so we may be in the mind of a player who is currently single, and he is thinking, maybe even doing a little spying, because I don't know how he can see how good she looks. And he may be assuming, I mean, this could be somebody that he dated very briefly once upon a time. He may have come across at first like he was very chivalrous, but he could have had a lot of dumb pickup lines. Look, I'm not knocking the pickup lines. Okay. Some of them are downright funny, I lost my phone number. Can I borrow yours? Come on, you gotta chuckle a little bit. But I'm guessing that he wanted to be seen as very chivalrous, but in the end, he wasn't very serious. Now he's in this King of Cups energy, and it's like he may be doing a little spying from afar with that crescent moon head, but he's like, wow, she has totally forgotten me. I can see that. And she's doing amazing. And she's got, her posse with her, her girl squad, her, guy club, whatever. It doesn't matter what gender, but we keep seeing it as a feminine here. And he's like, God, she's like the leader of her girl squad. She is like, she's so freaking happy. She's well respected. Clearly her life has blossomed since I casually tried to get some kind of sensual connection going with her. And I'm guessing she's got to be off the market now, because look at her, look at how happy she is, look at how much she glows, look at how sophisticated she is, look at how great she is. The only thing that's pissing me off a little bit is like, well, wasn't she great before? Wasn't she great before? I Righteous Magic, I love that. Hi, Karen. Legina Davis, Astrid Noid, Just Me, Sarah J, Slay Princess. So great to see you guys. We got a Seven of Pentacles here. It's almost like, it's like, well, I mean, yeah, but like she's like, my brain is like spun, like she's really, really amazing now. I'm getting a little bit more annoyed because I'm like, wait a second, you said, oh, wow, I love her. I feel so much warmth. I'm spying on her. I'm seeing how happy she is, how amazing she is. And look at how much money she has. Look at how much she's grown. And again, I'm feeling like, well, you have it. I'm sorry. I immediately want to get all sassy pants. I'm like, seriously? Knight of Wands is going to come in and like assess her? I don't think you're qualified. Okay. I don't think you're qualified to be assessing her personal growth when you're a freaking Knight of Wands. How about you do a little self reflection? Okay. Sorry. My inside voice just came outside. I try to keep it inside. But I get it. He's supposedly a King of Cups now. He's seeing all of her wondrousness now. And once upon a time, it was just like, she's hot. Now he's like, oh, she's so amazing. Look at all this growth. Look at all of this, what we could say, if we can silence and muzzle, sassy Kate over here, what we could say, by the way, that is my alter ego, or maybe that's the real me, the mouthy one. The me that tries to be a better person is the one who will talk right now. Okay. Maybe it's that he's more mature, so now he's able to appreciate her in a better way. The same way, like, when let's say when we're 6 and our palate for food is like, I like peanut butter jelly sandwiches. And then it doesn't mean we don't still like peanut butter jelly sandwiches once we're 45, but then we also have, tried filet mignon, and we're like, oh, that is a far superior meal. Like we have an upgraded palate. We might still be like, oh yeah, peanut butter jelly is nice, but wow, I did not realize that wasn't just peanut butter and jelly, that was so much more. It maybe is not to be looked at as an insult, but rather they have grown, therefore their appreciation is greater, because before they weren't in a place where they had a palate that could have appreciated all that she already was. And now it's like, mind blown. But that's more because they have reached a point where they can see things differently. Okay, so here we go. We've got a Page of Wands and we got the Four of Swords in the reverse. So if they are reflecting and if they are spending some time, I don't know what sparked them to go like look her up or something. But of course, retrograde season means sometimes we start thinking about people from the past. We start thinking about things from the past, but it's again because we're older and wiser, ideally. So he's literally saying, God, she's amazing. And I do think he's like, well, I'd like to talk to her. I'd like to break the silence. I'd really like to, ask her how she is. I mean, I'm sure she's probably off the market, but maybe I just need to tell her like something. I know Page of Wands though still says that there's this spark of, I wonder if I could talk to her. I wonder if I could reach out. Ace of Wands sideways. We've been talking about somebody spying and literally they're like peering through the keyhole. So they clearly only have a little teeny tiny lens into her life, which is probably why they're like, she looks so great. She looks so happy. I'm sure she's got to be with somebody by now. She's got to be off the market. She's so freaking fabulous. But this is still like, they are not just trying to consider reaching out to her for platonic, like, hey, listen, I just wanted you to know, God, you're an amazing person. And I don't know that I was mature enough to have ever told you that, and that could be a really nice message. But let's be honest, that's not really what it's all about, is it? There's still the spark of passion. They're lying to themselves about what they're still really hoping for from her and hoping that maybe she'll want me too. Because, hey, what if she's not? What if she's not with somebody else? It's kind of like, I wonder, We have the World card. Could we have a new beginning? Now they're getting kind of all revved up, kind of in fantasy land. Maybe there could just be a fresh start. Maybe I'd reach out and it would, she'd be like, oh, so great to hear from you. You want to come over? Whatever. I'm making a pot of stew. It definitely looks like they have an ulterior motive. Okay. Now, that's all still just playing out up here. Right now, all we have is somebody spying and being pretty blown away by a very mature person. Can I ask what prompted you to go spy at this point in time in particular? Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, Ten of Cups. Look, I don't know if they heard through somebody. Hang on, what's that song? Heard it through a friend who heard it through a friend who heard it from another. You've been messing around. That's not the right song, but that is that Air Supply? I can't think of who that is. She wouldn't be messing around because she's not with them at all. If anything, we have the Knight of Wands here. I still feel like they might be on the market for true happiness, looking for somebody who's like stand up, high quality person. And they're like, you know who I used to be nuts about? That really sexy person. I want to check them out. Because even then, I did know that they were really stable. So she may be a Queen of Pentacles, but she's grown even more so as far as like her business goes, because we saw her as a Seven of Pentacles. It might just be, I'm not saying that they're flipping through their little black book of like, hey, I'm looking for somebody stable now and somebody that I thought was hot. Let's cross-reference names in my, database and figure out who did I used to party with or who did I used to try, intimacy with that also happened to have been like a real stand-up person, because hey, now I want to have it all. I kind of want somebody I'm really attracted to, somebody that I also already know is like vetted that they're a really great person. If that is their reason, because it's a little Austin Powers, well, I'm horny, baby. But I also want something real. Sorry, again, I'm going to try to hold my tongue. Seriously, if that Knight hadn't come out, I wouldn't be making faces, but the Justice card is here. Okay, I can make all the faces I want. I am vindicated on this one. This is somebody was selfish and remains selfish. Now, it doesn't mean that a selfish person cannot also identify very high quality. It doesn't mean they can't have real feelings and still be completely one-sided on what they want. This says super injustice here. This person, they always want what they want. And they do want somebody who is respectable, somebody who they know plays fair, somebody who they know has high quality, but also somebody that they think is really hot. And it still looks like they want to come in and get what they want, but test the waters to see if this is what they want. It's like they're shopping for a human who fits the needs. The same way you'd go shopping for, the perfect garden trowel. Well, I want one that's good quality, not too expensive, something that, has maybe a wooden handle, not a metal or not a plastic one, because I don't want it to break if I'm digging into harder ground, and it's like, that's fine to be looking for the perfect price point and the perfect material and perfect design if you're talking about a garden trowel, but not if you're looking for a person. So I think that this individual continues to, I think, not see things through a very fair lens with their own behavior. Like, and what I'm going to say about this is, of course, everybody's shopping for what they want, right? Whether as a person or not, to a certain extent, maybe that's an analogy that we shouldn't immediately be offended by, because everybody's looking for what they are hoping to find. Of course, you want somebody you're attracted to. Of course, you want somebody who's amazing and stable. And when you're more mature, those other factors, amazing and stable and happy ever after, matter a lot more. But what I think this Justice card is maybe they haven't considered what exactly are they bringing to the table. Because all this time, I've still wanted to sass off over here and say, what about you? You're doing all this assessment of other people. You're shopping around for all the things you want, but what the hell are you bringing to the table? I'm sorry. I feel like if I met this person, I would probably say that point blank. What the hell are you bringing to the table? I feel right now, I don't know if anybody's ever seen Willow, but when the little brownies say to Mad Mardigan, what did you do? All you did was hang around and eat our eggs. Like, that's kind of the attitude I feel like I have right now. I feel like one of the brownies. If you have not seen Willow, amazing film. If you're an 80s kid, Seven of Coins. Seven of Coins is, they might be saying, well, I mean, like I've planted some seeds in my life. Like I've grown. They have a pretty small harvest right now, though, by comparison to what they want from this Queen of Pentacles, from what I can tell. She's in this lush jungle. I know they have some corn stalks, but they also have some very stubby, little teeny tiny fresh seedlings that they've just planted. Of course, everybody grows, though. Everybody does grow. So, and they are saying she's so wonderful. That's true. But it still looks like they are forgetting the most important component, which is if you already kind of blew it with her before because you were just a knight and you pretended to be chivalrous and then actually weren't, because let's be honest, he's not actually wearing the suit of armor, he's standing behind it. So I feel like there was deception here, wanting to be a good guy or gal when really that was a bit of a facade. Maybe this person knows how to woo. And even though it feels like they have real emotion for her, we still have a scoundrel here to a certain extent. Okay, we do, and they still are a scoundrel because that card is still here. So I'm not going to pretend that we don't see the scoundrel energy when we clearly do. And that's the part that they haven't grown in at all. They still think about, who do I like? What do I like? What do I want? First and foremost, instead of how could I get somebody that amazing, especially to give me a second chance if I've already been in scoundrel energy. It always still seems to come back to, what do I want next? Who do I want again? Oh, she was great and she was super sexy. Let me check her out. Oh yeah. Ooh, look at that. She's even sexier than I remember. Yeah, definitely. I'd like to ride that rodeo again. And yeah, maybe I'll reach out and then she'll be like, yeah, let's start all over. And I just keep thinking, I don't see that this person has grown very much. As much as time has passed, it seems like they've just invested more in themselves and what they want, even if they are aware that this is somebody that they feel emotion for. Feeling emotion for somebody is not the same as being a generous individual. But they could be saying, yeah, but I would be generous with my emotions. But you're looking for a Queen of Pentacles, somebody grounded and maybe financially stable. And you're saying my big contribution would be I'd bring my emotions to the table because she's hot and she's ticking the boxes that I want. But again, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get behind this and ignore this card. They still are not bringing enough to the table. So at least not the way I see it. Okay. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles, they are not up to snuff. There is no equitable, if they try to get with her, it's like maybe she has a lot more money than they do. And it's not that part would matter, but if we're talking about like generosity and like, I intend to develop a great deal of, stability in my life, this looks like they haven't conceived of it. They appreciate what she has, but they're not really thinking about what will I bring to the table? How will it motivate me to contribute and also create stability for us? And I'm not even talking about money now. I'm talking about like what makes a relationship balanced. If they're thinking, well, I'll be emotionally supportive, but that's about it, and she'll do the rest, that there's nothing fair about what their plan is here. And it kind of says then they can try approaching her, but it will fail spectacularly. And it will be because they haven't yet learned one of those really valuable lessons of, God, if there's somebody amazing out there and I really want happiness, how am I going to be a participant in that happiness? What would I do to make sure that I show somebody that I want to also make them happy? Like that's the part that I think is missing. Final message on this. Judgment card, look, they're coming back in to try this again. And all I can say is, God love them. They're going to give it a whirl. And I feel like this is the person who shows up to go on a big, huge adventure and they don't bring anything other than like, a little bit of snacks for themselves. They have no money for the vacation. They have they have done no research. They haven't packed any clothes and they're just assuming somebody else, they're showing up. So therefore you have the car, you figured out how to get the money to gas up the car. You're going to take me on this great road trip and I'm here to share it with you. And I brought some snacks, but just for me, but I'm here with you. Like that's the equivalent of this. That is okay. If that's, like whatever our, our sibling or something. And it's like, seriously, you're a world-class mooch. Get off your ass and, help me pay for the gas. We can say that to a sibling or even a friend, that we're really, really comfortable with. But in a romance, man, that is not going to fly. All I can say is they're going to try it though. And I think that it's going to be a big old shocker when instead, we got bolts of electricity coming down. This could actually, like I said, I think it's going to fail spectacularly. Okay. What might be the outcome here? World card sideways. It will not go as they think it will. Yes, there will be a new beginning, but remember, they thought at the beginning, boy, she's amazing. She probably might be in a relationship with someone, but I'm still going to go try my hand. They may discover that she is very much with somebody, and when they pick up that phone to call, they may hear some other, partner's voice on the phone, like, who are you looking for? Yeah, he or she lives here. Who are you? Okay, yeah, I'll let my girlfriend or boyfriend know when they get home that you were calling. What was this in regards to? It could be like, ooh, that's a splash of cold water in the face. I don't think anything's going as they think it will, because they kind of talk themselves into this, you know what? I'm going to go get me some more of that. And, kind of a fantasy, like, yeah, they were sexy. Ooh, they're still sexy. Yeah, I think I'll get back with them. And it's like, it did kind of, they thought maybe they're with somebody, but then it's like they blew past that and still decided I can probably get them back. I do not see this going as I thought. It will be there has been a new beginning. There has been a new beginning. I just don't think it's between them and this person. So I think somebody's about to get a very rude awakening that, and heck, I don't know, this might not even be true. This card was sideways. If they reach out to her, and please do remember, this could be masculines, feminines, same-sex couples, reverse gender roles, does not matter. But if he reaches out to her and tries his hand at this, she may simply say, I'm married. Please don't call again. And that may not be true. I only suggest that because she's in a wedding dress here. And she might tell a bit of a lie just to close the circle and make sure they don't call again. That could also be like, oh, well, congratulations, wish you well. I don't even know that that's going to be a true statement necessarily, but I do see them not getting the reaction that they hoped for. I do see it's like, wow, everything has changed now. I'm really not interested. In fact, I'm with somebody, and whether that's true or not, that might only be halfway is true. The part I'm not interested might be true. Whether I'm marrying somebody else or not right now, that may not be a full truth. I don't know, there's something where it's only a halfway of anything on this, but I don't see this going well for them. It's the first time I've ever read that judgment card, like, whoa, lightning and sandstorms. This doesn't look good. But they're going to give it a whirl. So all I can say on her side is prepare for somebody out of the blue to kind of maybe attempt a reach out. And it may not be from somebody that she would really want to interact with again. I feel like we should get just one more message just on her side. What's going on for her during this Ace of Swords? So if anything, she's having like some serious downloads from like the universe right now, the cosmos, right? She sits here and that Ace of Swords is like the sword of truth, the sword that says, I am separating this, cutting myself off from that. I'm in a different energy flow now. Page of Swords upright. She's kind of like, oh, I graduated. I learned a whole bunch of stuff. I learned more about, the wishes, hopes, and dreams that I have, which could look very, very different. To put it simply, she may not even be interested in a romance, or she is interested in a romance, but with a very, very, very different person. Somebody who could be, I don't know. I think he has the most gorgeous eyes. And I wonder if it's like, no, I've met somebody that I'm really drawn to and it feels very spiritual. And what I've learned is to trust my instincts instead of like, we'll say like my sacral chakra, or, instead of going toward lust, I actually prefer to go towards somebody that I know there's like a really intriguing connection. So I kind of feel like she either is graduating and gravitating toward a totally different type of person right now. Oh, yeah, she is. Lover's card. I don't know that she's with anybody at the moment. I think that she's aware that there's somebody she'd like to explore things with. And I think it's they're already on her radar. I feel like she's already got somebody else that is like she feels far more connected to. I don't think she has any space for somebody of the past after all. This particular retrograde somehow brought for her the awareness that, you know, there is some kind of like cosmic flow, and maybe even her learning to trust her intuition. Like she knows when somebody's going to be someone of great importance in her life. Let me just ask real quickly, not to be rude, but what was your summary then of that ex, the one that I was kind of down on there, that the scoundrel? Wheel of Fortune. She's like, oh, they helped me move on to the next chapter of my life. It was perfect timing for me to have met them. It was perfect timing for me to have moved on from them. So she doesn't view them as a scoundrel or somebody that's like, ooh. She's just saying everything happens for a reason. And if I do hear from them, it'll probably be perfect also because it nudges me forward even further toward this other person that I know I want to explore things with. That other person could be a Gemini, by the way. We did have a Gemini video that came out. Actually, I've done all the zodiacs today. So yeah, I see you, baby. You guys, I'm going to have to break and take Mr. Aries man out because he's here to tell me that it's time for him and mama. So I will be back in just a bit, and then we'll go over to Tarot Dog and we'll do a little bit over on Tarot Dog. But you guys, I'm going to dip out right now. I'm sorry to disappear all of a sudden, but as you can tell, the boy always takes precedence. So, all right, you guys, thanks a lot. Bye for right now. Lots of love. Bye.